If you're from the state of Hawaii, namely the bustling city isle of Oahu, then you are probably very familiar with the story surrounding Morgan's Corner. If you aren't, then you're probably lost already. The gist of it is it's a supposedly haunted place deep within the twisting trees and vines of the Pali Road overlooking Nuuanu. It is easily enough found as it has gained a lot of popularity over the years. So a quick search on Google can give you the address, but I beg you not to venture there. I want to save as many adventurous souls as possible from that gateway into hell, which is the reason I write this for you all. Hopefully my story of my experiences there will take away any desire to go to this awful place. I was 14 years old at the time, very interested in the occult and the paranormal, anything weird or creepy really. Hawaii was a great place to study these subjects, as the island chain is full of haunts and specters. When I tried to think about why such a beautiful place was filled with so many spirits, I had come to this conclusion. The Isles were not haunted more. It's just that the haunting is condensed. The spirits are basically water and their container is the land. Every area in the world generally has the same amount of water, but every place is a different size of container. Hawaii, being as small as it is, must have a very small container. So small, in fact, that the water was basically overflowing at the rim. This made things much clearer to a 14-year-old reading ghost stories, and I decided to stick with it. 2 years later, in the year of 1996, I found out about the place that was called Morgan's Corner, and how there were ghost tours for going to this place. I saved up enough money and on Halloween took a few of my friends along with me to go check it out. The tour started at about 8:30 p.m. and drove us up to the Pali and started a hike to the destination. If you have ever been in a forest at night with no street lights, the black void would still be consumed by the pure darkness that is the Hawaiian jungle. Armed with only our flashlights, we all inched forward, while making jokes at each other's cowardice. The entire tour party was pretty silent, and to be honest, we didn't see much. The darkness of the entire thing was really bothering us, though, and we were not really allowed to bring any cameras with us. So, in short, we didn't see jack shit. We followed a dirt road between and behind trees and the grasping vegetation for about a half hour. There was the intersection in the road, and we took a right. A half an hour passed again, and we were back at that road. Okay, so this was just a waste of my money, I thought. I just paid money to walk in the darkness with my friends, giggling like schoolgirls, looking at the supermodel with nice hair. To be honest, I was pretty pissed off. But one thing stopped me from feeling completely let down. There was an intersection. We went right. Right was a direction that led us back the same way down the road. Left was a path that led deeper into the forest. And I did not recall seeing the path leading to a giant tree at the end, which was a trademark for Morgan's Corner. Thinking about all this, I planned to come back alone and take the path going left. 2 days later, on Sunday, I decided to take my leave for the corner. Taking a backpack, a flashlight, some water, and a video camera with me, I left my house, under the disguise of going on a camping trip with my friends. Taking 2 city buses wasn't really that hard, and the walk down the road was long, but again, not that hard. The only problem was now, I had no idea where I was supposed to go. We had arrived at the opening in the jungle at night, and I'll be damned if I can remember a small hole in miles of banyan trees. It took me about 3 hours and 12 minutes of walking before I finally reached something that looked somewhat like where we entered. Since it was about 7 p.m., it was starting to get dark. I figured this was the best shot at getting to the corner tonight. Lucky enough for me, it was the correct path. A long, dark dirt road was before me. The trees and shrubbery swayed in the wind, and the trees cracked and moved against each other. I took out my camera, flipped on the night vision, and started to walk forward, the camera being my guide. About 15 minutes later, I hit that intersection. I looked through my backpack, and of course, the recording discs for the camera were shattered. Probably by my own carelessness on the trip here. Sighing, I went down the left road and glared through the window into vision. The darkness was back in full force. It was so pitch black that without the camera, I could not tell if I was closing my eyes or if I had them open. Being alone in a pitch black dirt road in Hawaii's outback was the most unsettling experience I ever had in my entire life. There's no real danger from the wild animals, considering that the most dangerous animal to humans is a boar. But I still felt like I had someone silently following my every step. Breathing cold wind down the back of my neck, while his brethren stare at me through the openings in the tree line. The unsettling atmosphere was not going to stop me, of course. I was here for a reason, and I was too deep into it now to turn back. Besides, going back would take an hour. I tripped on a stone. My camera smashed against the ground, and my window into light sputtered out. Picking up my now dead lifeline, I felt a sharp, piercing pain and threw it down. The lens had shattered and the glass had cut my hand when I grabbed it. It was completely dark now. I only know of 2 truths. There was a path behind me, and there was a path in front of me. I got up, stored my broken friend in my backpack, and walked forward, carefully watching my steps now. Not having the gift of sight makes all your senses heightened in an almost inhuman level. The swaying of the trees, the creaks, the bugs, and the frogs making their orchestra all rang in my ears clearly and loudly. The smell of dirt and mud, fresh rain, and forest filled my nose. The wind chilled my skin and the mud seeped into my shoes. I walked. I don't know how long I walked in the darkness. I could not keep track of time by any means. I can't tell you how long it was until I heard it. The sound appeared fast and without warning. But it was loud and clear as if it was right behind me. It was a low-pitched, droning sound, much like a tugboat's horn, but much more gurgle, more organic, and the sound lasted much longer. I spun around to the source of the sound, only to be met by darkness. I could not see anything, and the droning sound grew much angrier, and it filled with malice and horror. It was like this thing was screaming and snarling at the same time. And then the pats happened. Pat, 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 pat. What was that? Pat, 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 fuck, whatever this was, it was following me, fully sprinting towards my location. I knew that If it caught me, I would be begging for a death that would not come soon. Running in the opposite direction, I exploded forward, my heart thumping hard in my chest, begging for relief, my lungs filled with fire as I pushed forward into the void. The entity behind me was surely catching up, moaning and shrieking while hunting me. I saw light ahead. There was a light ahead of me. Was this my chance out? I didn't care. I ran for it. I ran as hard as I fucking could towards that light. I dropped my backpack. I dropped everything. I ran into the light and I noticed something. The light was coming from the moon in a small opening through the tree line. The light illuminated the ending to the path, in which a large banyan tree took residence in. I stopped at the base of this massive tree. My only way out has now become the ending to me. I turned around back at the path and it emerged. It was like a human, bare and pale. It was missing its head, though. A hole where the head should be instead created the droning sound. Teeth encompassed the mouth of its neck as it drooled and panted in a way I cannot even begin to describe. It ran like some sort of ape on all fours, except it had more than 4 limbs. It smelt like death. The limbs moved in spasmodic ways that mimicked a spider or a scorpion in its final moments. I looked up to the banyan tree, hoping to climb it for safety. What I saw in the tree's branches has forever changed me. Thousands of eyes, thousands of organs, children's heads talking to me, whispering sweet nothings, dogs flayed open on the branches, horrible, horrible images of gore, death, and disgust. I woke up in a valley far away the next week. My parents cried tears of joy when they finally saw me again for such a long absence. I lost my ability to digest some foods after that. I had to get a surgery to replace some organs that were gone. I will never return to that place. I hope you enjoyed this Hawaii creepypasta. I know I murdered the towns and the name of the trees, and I apologize. I tried. My brain just, it like zones out. Like, I look it up and I say it right once, and then I just murder it the next couple of times. I apologize. I tried my best. But I really liked this one. It was really interesting, and also, like, the person is missing organs? Are they in the tree now? I don't understand, but I'm very intrigued. If you ghouls got this far, in the comments, I want you to write banana, because I kind of want to know how many people actually listen to my rambly end slides. So yeah, just put banana in the comments below. But as always, ghouls, the last video will be on the top left, the next video will be on the bottom left. All my social medias are on the screen, as well as in the description box below. And remember, there's always someone or something watching you.